the original story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. In the depths of a harsh winter, a queen sat beside her window doing needlework. Her needles slipped, piercing her skin, and crimson droplets spilled onto the pristine snow below. Gazing at the vivid scene, she made a wish. If only I could have a daughter with complexion pale as this snow, mouth colored like these blood drops, and tresses dark as the ebony frame beside me. Her wish came true. She bore a daughter matching her vision perfectly. Alabaster skin, crimson lips, and raven hair. They called her Snow White. Tragically, the mother passed away shortly after childbirth. Within a year, the king took another wife, a stunning but vain and heartless woman who possessed an enchanted-looking glass. Daily, she'd inquire, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?" and receive the satisfying reply, "You, my queen, are the fairest of all." This continued until Snow White reached 7 years old and blossomed into extraordinary beauty. One morning, the mirror's response changed. "You are fair, O queen." "It's true, but Snow White is fairer than you." Consumed by jealousy and rage, the queen commanded her huntsman, "Take Snow White into the wilderness. End her life and return with her heart as evidence." The huntsman obeyed initially, but when Snow White pleaded for mercy, he took pity. "Run, child. Escape and never return," he told her, later deceiving the queen with a wild boar's heart, which she actually consumed, believing it belonged to her stepdaughter. Lost and frightened in the shadowy forest, Snow White eventually discovered a tiny cottage containing 7 miniature place settings and beds. Famished, she sampled food from each plate, sipped from each cup, and tested each bed before falling asleep. The cottage belonged to 7 dwarfs who worked in the mountain mines. Returning home, they found the sleeping beauty, and hearing her tale the next morning, offered her shelter in exchange for housekeeping. They warned her repeatedly, "Your stepmother will discover you're alive. Never open the door to strangers." Back at the palace, the queen consulted her mirror again, only to learn Snow White lived beyond the hills with the 7 dwarfs and remained fairer. Determined to eliminate her rival, the queen disguised herself as an elderly peddler and visited the cottage, offering beautiful laces. When Snow White opened the door, the queen laced her bodice so tightly she collapsed. The dwarfs returned just in time to save her. Undeterred, the queen tried again with a poisoned comb. Snow White fell once more, but the dwarfs discovered and removed the deadly ornament, reviving her again. For her final attempt, the queen created a poisoned apple, toxic only on the red half. Disguised as a farmer's wife, she offered to share it, eating the safe white portion herself to prove its safety. Snow White took one bite of the red side and collapsed. This time, the dwarfs couldn't revive her. They placed her in a glass coffin on the mountainside and kept constant vigil. Eventually, a prince passed by, was captivated by her beauty, and begged to take the coffin. As his servants carried it away, they stumbled, dislodging the apple piece from her throat. Snow White awakened. The prince proposed, and Snow White accepted. At their grand wedding, the wicked queen, still unaware of Snow White's survival, learned the truth from her mirror. As punishment, she was forced to wear scorching iron shoes and dance until she perished. Snow White and the prince ruled with compassion, maintaining close ties with the dwarfs, and lived happily ever after.